Welcome back, everyone, to Total Nonstop Impact Talk for Impact fans right here on the YouTube and the Twitch and wherever you get your podcast audio worldwide, baby. Oh, it's
worldwide, baby.
It's a throwback tonight, Uncle Mark, but it's not the usual throwback tonight. What are we doing?
So tonight for Time Machine Tuesday, it was put to a not so scientific vote. I said, I think we should watch this. Bill said, maybe we should watch this. J-Bone said, I've really been wanting to watch Victory Road 2004 for a long time. And if we don't watch it, I'm going to fire you motherfuckers. And I was like, well, let's watch Victory Road 2004. So here we are reviewing Victory Road 2004, the very first ever TNA pay-per-view. Well, Sunday night pay-per-view. They were all pay-per-views.
Right. It's the first like long form pay-per-view as far as like their original pay-per-views were like it's intended to be like a weekly 2-hour show. And but this was the big, bring everyone out, all guns blazing.
And we saw a lot of new faces. Well, we saw a lot of new old faces.
Right. So first of all, I just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Thank our lovely loyal supporters. We got some super stickers going on. We got some bits being given. So,
Brian Field, thank you always for starting us off strong, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Yeah, and Punk in the Discord. Punk in the Twitch. Thank you.
What's going on in Twitch? Oh, you know what? There's a few people in Twitch tonight.
Yeah, there's always some, but it's light, but
it's not what it was. It's not what it was.
The dedicated ones are there, and we appreciate whatever they're.
Absolutely.
It's all
absolutely.
love.
Impact just really they kind of cut us off at the knees on that one, man. I missed the Twitch community was just starting to really get thriving, but.
It was hot.
It was. But now it's on YouTube, right? Everybody's here. It's hot here. So
that's right.
Right. Speaking of hot, this was a hell of a show, huh?
It was. And this was this is back when I really heart and soul became a fan of this. It was just right before this. I think I started watching the weekly FSN episodes and
3 months before this, maybe then?
All these kids. Yeah, it was somewhere in there. I don't remember exactly where, but this is when it really, everything was just, this brand was just on fire. And it was fresh and it was exciting to me. Very similar to what a few brands in wrestling have been doing over the last few years, like AEW and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I compared a lot to that. And, man, there's a couple wonky things with this pay-per-view. We'll cover it all, but overall, man, I love this one. This was such a fun time to watch this brand with all the new faces, some of the old faces that I loved, like, hey yo,
Well, and this was huge. Justin Miller says the crowd was really into it for this show. They absolutely brought it. This from almost all of this show. There were a few moments, but overall, fantastic crowd.
Oh yeah, and the crowd, and I just got done watching the main event literally right before we went live here, and that crowd was split. I forget. It's like they weren't all Jeff Hardy. That crowd was split.
It's funny because we spend a lot of time. We all acknowledge the things that Jeff Jarrett has done, in the ring and for the business. We also take the piss out of Jarrett a lot because of how much he's on screen. But sometimes I think that does kind of cloud it. You go back and you watch this stuff and you forget he really was kind of over. He was the man, whether we like it or not, and it does kind of put that in perspective.
Yeah. Buckshot Kid here says TNA had 99-cent clip shows in Canada. That's how I found TNA. There was a 99-cent pay-per-view. That's how I found it. And it was all highlights from like the first couple of years. I don't remember
like all the Asylum stuff or whatever.
A lot of it was Asylum. I think there was a little bit of TNA in there, like the episodes.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what was all on there, but I remember buying that 99-cent pay-per-view, or it was like a 2-cent pay-per-view or whatever. It was under $1.
Yeah, apparently Canada had it too.
Yeah, and that was, man, they just, it was just on fire, and I loved it. So yeah, and I jokingly told the guys, I was like, well, I'm glad we decided on this because I made the cover for it. So here's the
He did. That's a true story. I was like, fine, we'll do it. And there, sure enough, there it was. And I was like,
which one's Jay?
Well, that's an easy one tonight. It's him. He's Jay, not me.
It's me, little homie.
You're saying where you were with TNA for this pay-per-view. Like, I stopped watching when the move to FS1 happened, not because they moved to FS1, but because I moved and I no longer had my satellite with the clone card, so I was no longer watching TNA. So for me, this was the first. Well, not. This is my first time watching this show in its entirety. I've seen the main event 1 trillion times on Impact Plus, or whatever Pluto Impact stream. But overall, I don't think I knew what a solid show it was. Like, it was a really great show from beginning to end. A very strong way. If I'm a new buyer spending $30 looking for an alternative, I probably would have watched the television after this if I wasn't already.
Right. So, now there's a couple portions where I had to fast forward or I missed something. So I'm going to need your help on this, especially this first match. I have a confession to make, Mark. I have a confession to make.
Fast forwarded through the pile.
I actually see. We ordered takeout Chinese tonight.
Okay.
And I ate the whole damn container. It was so good.
What was it? What kind of Chinese are we talking?
It was pork lo mein with fried rice, and then it was a fat egg roll, and I ate the whole freaking thing along with my fortune cookie. Which I put up on my Instanet because I thought it was kind of cool.
No, Zach, I didn't miss it. I actually saw it, but I was working while I was watching it, so because I had to watch it today. I had to fit this 3-hour pay-per-view into the middle of my fucking day today.
Right. For some of it's easy. For some of us, it's not so easy.
Yeah.
So I finished dinner and I jokingly said to Tracy, I was like, "Yeah, watch this now. It's time for Ichiban food coma."
And zonk. That was that.
And I did. I took a power nap during the first half hour of this pay-per-view, woke up and said, "Oh shit, well
I'm not going back."
No, I don't have time because I'm looking at the clock, and then I had to.
I have the runs.
No, that's tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. No, Chinese usually treats me pretty good internally, that is. But yeah, I took an old man Chinese food Ichiban coma. I don't know what the fuck.
In my ass.
No, that's a different kind of coma.
The ass coma? What the fuck?
I don't know, man.
What's even what?
You're the one with the bites. I don't know.
Shit, there's no one else to blame tonight. There's only 2 of us, J-Bone. Fuck.
I got nothing.
Right.
So look, this first one.
I tell you what. How about this? I did watch it while I was working, so I have a couple of notes. Why don't you do the entrance order? I did not take down the entrance order of all these guys coming in for the opening match so what we're talking about, right? Well, first of all, there's an opening video package, right, that runs down what TNA is, what's been going on TV, and it's narrated by TNA, right?
The late great Barry Scott.
Oh, you're right, it's Barry Scott.
Yeah.
And so then when they get to the table and Tenay and West come in, my favorite part happens. And Don says the word transfolds, which I thought was really fantastic. I don't remember the context. I just wrote down that Don says transfolds. I'm not sure what the fuck he was trying to say, but I like that word.
That's that a word?
No, man. That's why I wrote it down. I was like, I like that.
Well, he's a professor, so he must know something that we don't.
No. It was Don that said it. I think he was just really excited because it was the beginning of the show, and Don's,
He even went old school and wore his like silver on silver.
Yes.
I thought that was.
Should we just really quickly? I mean, we won't do a whole news segment, but for those of you that don't know or haven't heard, Don West's cancer has returned, unfortunately. But we obviously we know he's a fighter, right? Like this has happened twice before, and he's beat it both times. I believe that the Don West GoFundMe is still active. I don't have the link handy. If somebody wants to put it in the chat, I'll put it up on the screen.
Oh yeah, it's on his Twitter, and I'm sure Impact is going to share it or whatever. Hopefully, yeah, that's sad. It's prayers for good old Don West, man. Send him your love. He needs it right now.
And God bless that man. He's always in high spirits, or seems to be. At least when he is in public, and I hope nothing but obviously the best. The Impact family I know is coming together around Don.
Oh yeah, and it's a pretty solid group there. Yeah, prayers for Don. All right.
After we transfold, so after Don transfolds us into the show, we get as is very legendary and classic TNA Impact fashion, we get an X Division match to open the show, but it's not just an X Division match; it is an X Division battle royal.
Right. It's a gauntlet 2-man start, and I will read off the names that are involved. Okay.
Perfect.
Here we got Hector Garza, Alex Shelley, Chris Sabin, D-Ray 3000. Now he was
Bill's favorite, right?
I barely remember this guy. Jason Cross is back. We've talked about him plenty. Jerrelle Clark.
Wait, can we stop on Jason Cross for 1 second?
Yeah.
Mike Bailey's finisher. Very reminiscent, right? I know it's a different move. It's not a leg drop. It's a backbreaker, like a Meteora from the.
It's a four. Jason Cross is a 450 leg drop.
Yes.
And it's just, oh my God! It's one of
the most. It looks so painful.
Right.
It looks so painful.
Right. Like you think Hogan, after decades of doing a leg drop and jacked his back up so much, think about doing a 450 and having the momentum to do it off the top rope. And then like every other time we saw him do it, he effed it up and either missed or landed wrong or almost put himself into the turnbuckles and killed himself.
Though, I popped my brains out the first time I saw it back in the day. Like, I'm not going to lie and pretend like I didn't like Ice Ice Baby. I thought Jason Cross's Crossfire was really fucking cool back in the day. But rewatching it now, it's like, holy shit, that's a really dumb finisher. But kind of reminds me, again, Mike Speedball Bailey's finisher, just kind of reminiscent of it, right? Like a flip off the top into a different, rather than just a press or something like that. It's got like a leg finisher on it. His is like a Meteora to the back.
And Speedball Mike Bailey's is a 450, and then he catches his knees or his shins on the back of your neck or on your back. I've seen a few different versions of it.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a Meteora to me, but maybe it's not supposed to. With the knees or like you said, the shins kind of landing on the back, but sideways instead of on your face. So
it's still wicked as hell.
Oh yeah, it's fucking cool.
Yeah,
it is cool.
So all right, so back to the list here before we get too far. All right, Jerrelle Clark. I'm gonna have to look up Jerrelle Clark. I remember the name. I can't picture him. Here we got Kazarian, L.A. Park. Now, is this?
This is the original La Parka.
Is this the one that passed away within the last couple of years?
I believe that's correct. I believe
because
like
I know
in
there was
2019 he got hurt, right? I believe that's correct.
I don't it's I know there was two of them, and I never remember like
Three,
which one
right?
is which.
Well,
What and
there's
and
Eco Jayla Park or whatever too. There's a third.
well, that's the son.
Yeah.
The son and the dad are in MLW right now,
right.
but then there was another one who was always down in
Yeah.
Mexico, and
I believe that's the same one that this is. I think
it could be. It could be. I'd have to look.
Someone in the chat help us out. There's only two of us.
Like I saw him. I think I got up to the point where I saw him come out because he was still one of the first people to come out, and then I passed out.
Okay.
So and he did the whole.
Yeah, he was like third or fifth in. He was pretty early.
So he did the chair thing and knocked out. Matt Sydal, a young Matt Sydal.
Yes, very young. Terrence says it was the Parker from WCW, the chairman.
Okay. Michael, that doesn't help.
That's the one that passed.
Oh, okay.
The OG.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. Matt Sydal, Michael Shane, Mickey Batts, Miyamoto, NOSAWA, Psychosis. Oh, I love me some classic Psychosis. Puma, Shark Boy. Oh yeah. Sonjay, Dutt, Sonny, Siaki, Spanky, and the Amazing Red.
Notable things here out of that group already. Spanky is Brian Kendrick, right? In his first television appearance, maybe first appearance anywhere. Geez, he looks like he's 12. And then Puma is, of course, TJP, who
in the mask, yes.
Yeah, who would be around Impact, obviously, everybody knows, until very, very recently, in and out, in between stints.
Right, almost 20 years. It's crazy.
Yeah, so I thought both of those were kind of interesting. There was a really interesting array of characters in this. You had Hector Garza returning as well in this match. I was working while I watched this. It was about a world. There was lots of shit going on. I really started to pay more attention when Amazing Red came out. And to me, wondering if Amazing Red's not hurt here because it was all just ground-based and grappling stuff. And even when he went out, he took a real tender way out of the ring. So I'm thinking maybe Amazing Red's hurt here, and that's why he didn't play much of a role.
Right. And when we saw him come back in what episode were we just doing? 95?
6,
7. Yeah. The mid to high 90s or something we're coming up on. And he had just returned there. And this is what, a couple months later? A few months later.
Yeah.
And knowing his moveset, he probably banged himself up. So yeah, really no surprise there, unfortunately.
Yeah. So anyways, at the end, you get it down to 3, and it's Sabin, Kaz, and Garza. So fantastic final 3. And it ends with Garza pinning Kaz to finish the Battle Royal. So Hector Garza returns from injury. Was he injured?
I don't know. I'm not sure why he left or whatever. Could have been whatever deal they had with the AAA crew with that.
They had finished the tournament by that point. Several weeks before, a couple months before, I guess. You all right, Jay? I've never had to be on by myself, so I'm just gonna put a comment up here from Brother Paul, Puma from Underground, Uncle. But he was talking to the other one.
No, different.
I don't know how you do that, J-Bone. By the way, if I haven't said it enough, solo podcasting, you're the fucking man. I don't know how you do it.
So, no, Mrs. J-Bone came in with some cat treats, and she walked in I'm like, what's up? And she's like, where's Rocky? I'm like, he's over here sleeping. So she slowly hands me some handful of cat treats. I'm like, okay, got it. Later.
Wrestling and cats, total nonstop cats.
So she walks in and she's like,
surely she knew you were talking about wrestling, because there's always a good chance you're talking about wrestling.
She knew I was live. Just the look on her face was priceless. It was the total, which one's Jay?
I always have that look. Which one's Jay?
This is true. No, different Puma, Paul. This is not Lucha Underground Prince Puma. That was Ricochet. This is TJ.
Turn that frown upside down, my man.
That's the one.
Close. close. But
not speaking, but still.
no, I know.
That's all we've got for TJP.
That's it.
Actually, you know what? Neither one of those guys are with the company anymore. We really should get rid of that by it.
Yeah, we'll go through them like once a month. We get rid of one or two and pop in the new ones here and there.
Well, it's been a while since we did the big purge. It's been about a year. Actually, it was in May last year we did the almighty purge.
It's about time for another one.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah. So it was. I really can't say shit about the first match. I'm just gonna nod my head and be like, "Yep."
Battle Royal X Division, not too much top rope stuff. Nothing really spectacular. The debuts were cool. Seeing people like Brian Kendrick was neat, But it was just another Battle Royal. I'm not a huge fan of that type of match, though. To be fair, like they're okay. Depends.
Right.
Depends on what's the stakes.
It's hard to watch. I mean, some people love them. Some people it's hard to keep track of everything. And
I love them if it's like. I mean, not to talk about another company, but like Up North's Royal Rumble, right? Like the pomp and circumstance and like all the splendor and stuff that goes with it. Like you get a title shot at Mania. So like to me, that's the stakes are there. Like the BFG Gauntlet, I like a lot because you get the trophy, which you can use to cash in. But like in this case, it's cool. But
right, he got a cup, but
I don't think he became number one contender. I don't think this was for anything except the bragging rights in the cup, I believe.
Right. It was just, it's a fun thing that this brand did consistently. And that was put X Division guys out there first to get the crowd riled up and wake them up. And, oh my God, a lot of OMG moments and all that kind of stuff. So
hold on, J-Bone, you got to read Larry's comment here.
Larry says, I've got 47 pictures on my walls and bits of string across the room, a map full of pins and Ouija board. I'll work out who LA Park is in the end. Jiminy Christmas.
Got a Jiminy Christmas out of the Bone Daddy. That was an early one, too.
Wow. Larry, don't look. We all love wrestling. Just don't hurt yourself, right?
It's not that serious, Larry. We're good.
Right.
Hit the bongo again.
One's still here. One passed away. It's just watch MLW. Get the regular one that's still around on a regular basis.
Of them. Right? You get the two remainders.
You'll get Junior too.
Yeah.
Whatever he calls his neck. Yeah. All right. So,
his son neck.
La Parka neck. Look it up on the Insta neck. All right, next this is what is this? Oh, this
Kid Cash and Dallas Naturals. The 4-man, the 8-man tag.
Oh yeah. 8-man tag. This was a lot of fun. This was actually
a much better match than I thought it was going to be.
Number one, I love the Naturals. Number two, Kid Cash and Dallas are fun.
Yeah.
And the other team was a bit of a hot mess of people, but it was so fun. It was Johnny B. Bad.
Yes.
Completely. Okay, so let me just run through the people and we'll talk
about
Johnny.
Awesome Johnny B. Bad.
Johnny B. Bad, R-Truth, Pat Kenny.
Who's got a different name now.
And
again, he's no longer Irish Pat Kenny.
What do they call him? Super Duper Pat Kenny or something?
New York Angel or something like that. I forget what somebody help me out here with what Pat Kenny was called here, but he changed his name again. But anyways, go ahead and somebody will let us know.
I thought the Angels were in LA. Never mind.
I have no idea.
And then Eric Watts.
Yeah.
Good old Eric Watts.
Watts looked we've seen Watts look better, right? Is it just me? Like, not trying to be a dick, but
well, he got a nice pop. He always gets a nice pop from the TNA crowd.
Always. But I just mean he looked like he hadn't been in a ring in a long time, right?
Oh, see, I don't know. See, from where we're watching now is like I said, this is a few months later. I don't know. We're not privy to. I mean, they bring you up to speed on certain big feuds, like the X Division, the tag matches, the main event. They'll run promos like, okay, this is what happened leading up to here, and but I don't know, like, if this was Watts coming back. I didn't pay that much attention to that as far as what they were saying about him. But I felt like he got a pop, so I was like, hey, Ertz.
Oh, they always love Watts, not Simon Diamond Hakeem. That was his original name. He's been Irish Pat Kenny, and now he's something else Pat Kenny.
Simon who? The artist formerly known as...
I'm going to have to look it up. Nobody's helping us out here. All right, keep going, J-Bo.
Simon. Zach Bonifer's just throwing baseball team logos at us. What the... Okay. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. So let's talk about Johnny B. Bad. So Johnny B. Bad looked very different from how I'm used to seeing him in clips. Now, mind you, I'm saying clips because I didn't watch, for those of you that don't know how much I've watched or didn't watch back in the Attitude Era, I didn't watch a lot of Attitude Era. My cutoff was like right before the Attitude Era when shit started getting wonky in early 90s, between 90 and 92. That was my cutoff there. And I came back. What's that?
Sorry, I found it. Empire Saint, Pat Kenny.
Empire Saint.
Empire Saint. New York Angel, Empire Saint. I was like that fucking close, guys. I was so fucking close.
You're so close.
So fucking close.
So
close.
So close.
Yeah. What were we talking about again? Irish Pat Kenny, Simon Diamond, New York State Angels. I forget.
But Lady Liberty's got a halo. What
the hell? Phantom Girl? I don't even fucking know. I'm just gonna get my Duff out again and cheers to you.
Duff. So Johnny B. Bad looked great in this match. And I don't know, like I know he was really messed up at one point in wrestling, but I wasn't watching then.
I don't know the saga of Mark Miro outside of, I mean, I loved him, or, I liked him as Johnny B. Bad and Mark Miro, especially because he was with Sable for a long time when I was, 14 or whatever.
Right.
So after that, I don't think I really knew what happened to Mark Miro. You're right, though. He looked very different here. Like, I don't want to wager too many guesses, but it looks like he's had some work done. Like,
I don't know. I just know that at one point he was really messed up because he's talked about this. See, he goes around from schools now and preaches to kids about don't do drugs, and tells kids how messed up he was back years ago. Which, kids aren't going to care about some wrestler from years ago. The point is the story that he tells you, the results, don't do this because this is what happened to me. The big thing that he preaches now is he was so messed up on drugs, he missed the passing of his mother.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's what
I wonder where this falls in that timeline.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't know. I don't. He looked great here.
Oh yeah,
he looked like he wasn't how he was back when he had the stringy hair and looked like Little Richard on crack.
Yeah.
He just.
That's an interesting analogy.
That's what I always compared him to. I'm like, oh, Little Richard's got Sable. I'm like, what's going on here?
And now Brock has Sable. He got Little Richard's. Wait, what? No, never mind. What? Go ahead, J-Bone. No, go ahead.
Brock.
Wait.
Brock is still champion. Can you believe that shit? Anyways.
Is he really? They made him champion again?
20 years later, and they're still making him. Dude, they can't.
Holy fuck. Who did he beat for the belt?
It's so sad. Oh,
he beat Roman?
Biggie.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, buried Biggie again. Yeah.
That's why I don't watch that shit.
I know. Yeah. Oh, and real quick, now they're naming German wrestlers by the name of former Nazi people that were connected to Hitler. Yeah, that's what the WWE is doing.
What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, you know who Walter is?
Fuck yeah, do you match of the year last year we're tracking off?
Yeah, they gave him a famous Nazi killer name. Yeah, so fuck that place.
Like
legit.
Go ahead, I'll just look it up real quick.
It's what Alicia was talking about in our private Facebook chat, right as we were going live. Yeah,
I did not see that.
Yeah. I don't know what the name is, but yeah, if you Google Walter on Twitter, the whole thing is up there. So they already killed him. It's like, hey, yeah, welcome to NXT. We're destroying your career and our company all in one shot. Anyways, enough of that shit. Jiminy Christmas. But yeah, so Johnny B. Bad looked great here, and just one of those fun matches where everybody got their shit in.
Yeah, I actually like this a lot more than I thought I was going to. Nothing specific, but everybody did get their shit in. It was cool to see Johnny B. Bad specifically. That was probably the highlight for me. Kid Cash's promo before the match was really good. Kid Cash was on fire all night, actually. He had a great show. Yeah, he had a really great show.
King heel of the pay-per-view.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. R-Truth gets the win here, I believe.
Man, okay, so I missed the last few Time Machine Tuesdays you guys did, including when Truth wins the NWA title for the second time.
Right.
He just no longer has the title here. How long was that reign?
A week. 2 weeks max.
Oh, shit. Okay,
yeah,
I didn't realize it was that short. Okay,
yeah,
so that's...
I was all excited about it, but I knew it was coming, so I not for the sake of like looking up spoilers new, but you just have that feeling like it's a change in the guard, new show.
God, I remembered it being longer than a week or two. Shit.
Yeah, it really wasn't. But at least it was a multi-man match, and it wasn't just whatever. But yeah, I was like, well, why did you even do this? It was kind of one of those wonky things. But but anyways, Truth gets the win here. Fun match. Next, we got what you said your favorite match of the night was. Now, dude, I'm about to fire you for this, but no.
Who's left, J-Bone? Who's left?
I'll do it all my damn self. No, I'm kidding.
I believe it.
I'll inject the poison into the TNI.
All right, you guys heard it here first. J-Bone's going solo. It's total nonstop bone.
Total. Oof.
14 days, Hakeem says.
That's
Truth's reign.
Okay, so a week or two is not okay. Not an exaggeration.
It's like Kerry Von Erich shit. Man.
Right? So we got the minis match here.
Oh, yes. Masquerita Sagrada. Dude, that guy is awesome. As soon as I saw he was in this match, I knew it was on.
They bring out a guy named Pirate Morgan. That's the English version. I'm not going to try that.
Piratita Morgana.
Yeah, that too.
Morgano, I guess it would be
right. Pirate Morgan. Kind of like the rum, only different.
Yeah.
I
only
thought
not as intoxicating and sweatier. Definitely sweatier.
Dear God. Masquerita Sagrada, I know him from Lucha Underground. Much fun.
Love him.
So much fun. And I think he was in the WWE too. I'm guessing he was, I think, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was the bull that used to come out with the colognes.
Really?
Yeah. There was like a little bull. And I think that was, and this same bull had matches with Swoggle. It's real fuzzy, but it was, they killed the colognes. And I can't remember what they called them. It was something else. But
well, I did say that this is like my match of the night. But let me tell you why.
Okay.
Because when I was growing up, my grandma, like as I've told on this show many times, she got me into wrestling. My grandma loved the fucking minis, and like so when we would watch Lucha on TV local here, whatever it was. Like she would always get really into the minis. So it's just like good nostalgic memories for me. Like I couldn't watch a whole show of minis wrestling, but I love a minis match in the middle of a show. I'll take that all day long. So for me, this was just a lot of fun. I mean, it's lighthearted. Like they had the praying spot where Posey got down and prayed with him too. Like this whole match was just super, You didn't watch this match. You need to go back and watch this match, J-Bone. Did you fast forward through the fucking minis match?
No, I didn't. I watched it. So what killed me was, look, and I love Masquerita Sagrada.
He's awesome.
It's a lot of fun, fast paced, does all sorts of crazy stuff. What killed me was this Pirate Morgan. And he's sitting there punching him and swinging like he's like legit, like, you know, like
trying to hurt him.
Like you're swinging and you hit the other wrestler. The other guy is supposed to sell no matter if he hits you or not. It just depends on the camera angle. At one point, Masquerita Sagrada is in the ropes, or he's in the corner, kind of leaning back. Pirate hits him once and then goes, hey, trying to get some kind of crowd reaction, goes back, hits him again. Both times, Masquerita Sagrada completely no-sells him and just stands there like, damn, you missed me. Completely missed me. And it's just like, oh, that's what took me out of the match.
Fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. I didn't notice that,
but then they would, Mayor says El Torito. Yes. El Torito was the little bull with the colognes in WWE. That was like a handful of years ago. Yeah. So, or whatever that was. I forget. But Masquerita Sagrada then would do a bunch of like crazy top rope, second rope flying stuff that would bring me back into the match. But the whole
Pirate Morgan not doing it for you.
Oh my God. Yeah. I'm like,
I mean, I didn't love him either. I didn't think he was great, but again, I just like minis. And Mike Tenay flexing his fucking brain muscle, right? Like they call him the professor for a reason, like you mentioned earlier. But dude, recently I saw somebody. It was a subtweet before I got banished from Twitter, and I forget who it was tweeting about what, but they were talking about when AAA came into TNA. Or into WCW, I'm sorry. And he said that nobody knew shit. The reason they were so mishandled is that they had no idea about the culture, the history. The only person he said that knew his shit was Mike Tenay, and that Tenay was the only one who got it. You always hear that about Tenay, that he was really like in tune with the lucha culture and like the history of lucha. And it shows here when he's commentating this match. Like Don just kind of lets him take it because Tenay knows everything about everything. He's got to be the most genius wrestling commentator in history.
Whenever like we saw like where we're at in the regular throwback reviews, and they had the whole X World Cup, and all the different teams from different countries, and throughout the matches, whatever it was, whether it was Canada or Japan or Mexico, AAA, whatever, Tenay would talk about each guy. And say, oh, he's so-and-so from so-and-so, has been around for so-and-so, works for whatever, and just, he would educate you on all that stuff. So,
good
props
stuff
to him for that.
Yeah.
This definitely was not my match of the night, but I understand what you're saying as far as,
it's just a refreshing thing to see. Like I said, I wouldn't want to see it every week, or I mean, all the time.
Right.
But
and you need that kind of stuff during a wrestling show, because you got action up here and then you need a little little breather, something funny, something a little different, and then more action, and then you need that because you can't be up here the whole time.
Exactly.
Because you're gonna lose your crowd if you're up here the whole time.
Boy, your arm got tore up by some cats today, Jay.
Oh, sorry. I know. I look like a
man. What happened?
That's been like that for like weeks and months. I look like one of those monks that, flogs himself. My body looks like that because of my cats.
Jeez.
Yeah. I'll use that example instead of something else. I was going to say that's a little more controversial, so I'll just cut that off.
This is not a family show. We threw that out the window a long time ago.
J-Bone's into some kinky shit. What the? Okay. All right. Next.
Ding.
J-Bone's fired. Then we got Scott Hudson.
Ding.
Ding. Yeah, we don't have the bell. Trent's not here, so I'm just going to look to you for the ding-a-ling.
Wait, J-Bone.
They left.
And they laughed, and they laughed, and they laughed.
I don't mean that ding-a-ling. It's behave yourself.
J-Bone. Enough. No mean, yeah, like Zach said, no means no, J-Bone. Right? Calm down. I'm not going to say it again.
Work with me here. All right. Scott Hudson is talking about the director of authority voting, and then it's comical because he's talking about different states, and this state is voting
waiting for the West Coast results to come in.
Right, and then he makes a joke about something about Florida. I'm assuming that has to do with something with the dangling chads or something. That, I don't. Because
this was a wild promo from Dusty. He was fired the fuck up, wasn't he?
Then I wrote down 3 Live Crew. I don't know when Dusty's in here.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was later. I'm looking at my notes in the wrong spot.
And I know I missed a few too. So if I missed something, just let me know. Because
will do. No, I'm in the wrong spot.
Yeah,
I'm in the wrong spot.
Great.
We're right before the bad guy.
Right. Hey yo. So yes, Scott Hall comes out and he's talking to the crowd. And he does his classic, toothpick behind the ear. Hey, yo, loved it. And he says that there's no Big Sexy tonight. There is no Kevin Nash in the building. So, and then they look at someone in the crowd. Someone in the crowd goes, yeah, right, or something like that.
Oh, we did skip earlier. There was a brief segment with the franchise Shane Douglas out in the back by a limo trying to get an interview with Kevin Nash.
Right, and this is a repeating thing a good chunk of the night. They go back 2 or 3 times. I know the last time they actually had security out there, and Shane Douglas is like, I'm trying to do my job, and he's just going nuts.
He didn't have enough of a role in the show, though. I was a little disappointed in Shane's limited role here. Right.
And I was, they actually had more Scott Hudson than Shane Douglas. So I was like, you forget like who's all doing what, but I'm like, man, I would have loved a little more Shane, a little less Scott, but whatever. It is what it is back then.
Indeed.
3 Live Crew does their thing. Then talk about Scott Hall. Okay, next, so we got 3 Live Crew going after the TNA tag titles against Team Canada. So BG James and Conan versus Team Canada, represented by Eric Young, Bobby Roode, and of course Scott D'Amour's out there. Dude, I love this tag match.
Me too.
Dude, and I gotta give it props too, because I know like when Team Canada, when we're watching the other episodes, is in its infancy.
Yeah.
And as good as it is, I remember specifically you saying, or someone says something to the effect of, wow, Bobby Roode looks really green here.
Yeah, that was me.
Dude, Bobby Roode was on fire in this one.
He's come a long way in a short period here.
So, I was specifically noticing him. Like, he would hit a move, and his charisma was through the roof. I hated his haircut here. The freaking Mo from the Three Stooges haircut mixed with, curly. That's what I always thought his haircut looked like. I'm like, dude, what the hell? This, it was better when it was longer, and then he chopped it all off and whatever.
Yeah.
Rude. But my point of this is Rude looked a lot better in this match. Eric Young, always great. Scott D'Amour, always there with the flag and the hockey stick, trying to raise some hell, walking around with the belt. That belt's going to get used.
He's such a great ringside presence. Like, he is such a distraction. He's loud. He's obnoxious. I mean, he's everything you want your manager to be. Like, he's the difference between winning and losing 50% of the time. Like, that's what you want.
Right. I'm noticing something in the chat here. There's, my nephew. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Trent is in Hawaii. And we don't know how long he's going to be there. And he's, we see these pictures every day, beautiful sunsets, people on the beach. He's doing selfies with the beach behind him and the waves and all these little Instanet things. And I love Trent, but damn, man, I am jealous. I'm not.
Meanwhile, my heat went out and the winter storm bearing down. I'm like, fuck.
Well, we'll blow some heat down from Wisconsin,
Yeah, I'm probably talking to the wrong crowd about being cold.
Right. Atlanta, Georgia got a couple inches of snow, and they shut down the entire.
That's how it is
city.
here.
Yeah, and people in Wisconsin just kind of like fall over in their chair and laugh at stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
it's like whatever, man. I my old 20-year-old car. We were pushing 3 feet of snow down the block. I don't want to hear about it, man. It's like.
Oh yeah, no, I love it here now that I've lived somewhere with snow multiple times.
Right.
Now when it's cold here, it makes me laugh. Like
you
actually on Friday. Well, I appreciate how funny it is. On Friday, actually, it's supposed to freeze here, so we probably will have schools closed on Friday for a potential freeze. Like if it might freeze, then they'll close school. So up there, it's 16, 18 inches before they close the school, probably.
Oh, yeah.
Even. Or they're like, go fuck yourself. Just get in here. Come on.
A lot of it has to do with the school buses too. If the school buses can't get around, then it's like, all right, let's is done. Yeah. So all right. So my nephew made a sign. I don't know like how close they're getting to do this, but I know Paul really wanted Trent to come visit him, and I don't know any details if that's actually in the works. But Paul made a sign for Trent and asked me to share it. So I'm going to just take a second here.
Yeah. I don't have Twitter, so I can't see shit anymore. Unless I'm on the show account sometimes.
I will share this with you from Twitter. So here we go.
Yeah.
That's the sign.
So we don't know if Trent and Paul were able to meet up?
We don't know yet. Yeah, I don't know how where Trent's all going, and I don't know exactly where Paul lives, but
same.
But Paul made a sign for Trent. I think that's really sweet. So there you go, Paul.
We have the best freaking we have the best. It's not listenership; it's family here. I love.
Oh yeah,
love
our audience. Good stuff. Love you, Paul. So hopefully Trent can get there. We'll see. It's out of my hands. But all right. So next we got. But yeah. So I didn't say the finish of the match. We have new. I didn't. Wait.
No, you didn't. Sorry, we're both trying to ban that dude from the chat. So the finish. Can we talk about the finish? I loved this match too, and I was a big Conan fan back in the day. Get away from there, dog. Not you, the dog. But I know this is probably like a hey, this is the end of the road type title win for Conan, but for Rude to get pinned off the K driver there at the end, I just really didn't like that when Rude looked so strong the whole match. And I know he's like a young guy, but I mean, I guess I understand, but I really didn't like that finish for the record.
Now, this is their third time that they've been tag champs. Is that
Second.
what I was it second or third? I'm not sure. Excuse me. But but nonetheless, I thought BG was on fire. Conan always flying around the ring. This was fun. I love both teams a lot.
Yeah. No, I liked it too.
Then we got a Russo promo. Talking, it's like a politically aimed promo for being DOA, trying to get votes for him. It's like, no, of course we're not going to vote for Russo because, he was like, this is different from what he is now from what we're watching. So something must happen between what we're watching now in the throwbacks and here.
Yeah, because we're a little out of order here by a few months.
Right. But it's still throwback-ish. And I wasn't,
Is it me or were the percentages on the poll the same every time, 55-45?
Right.
Ish.
And Scott Hudson would always do something different and talk about different states and stuff like that. So,
okay.
Yeah, it was goofy.
Oh, there was a Raven promo before the Russo commercial thing, too.
Oh,
Really
okay.
good promo from Raven, but typical Raven stuff. But he looked menacing.
Okay, so all of the. All right, so where was the Monsters? Oh, that was
Abysses is later. I think Ravens is first.
Monsters
Right?
Ball. Okay, so that was a few things later. Okay, so all the promos that they had in between segments were done in like a night vision.
Yeah, like they were supposed to be locked in a cell with no food and no water for 24 hours before the match. So they showed, dude, it's a monster's ball, right? To make them like Abyss or whatever. Like I thought it was, this was, to me, this was fucking peak shit. Like I love this. Like that's how you really get into this shit, right? And Raven's promo was perfect. Peak Raven shit. He was all crazed, and the night vision made his eyes look all like wonky, like big saucers, and who knows, he was probably zooted up at the time.
Right, but, and he looked like he was in like a straight jacket, and then he was all,
yeah, exactly.
So
I thought it was cool.
And Monty Brown's was fun.
Man, fuck yeah.
Abyss was, he was trying to do his best Taurus, doing the whole. that was Abyss's.
Man, Impact is doing with Taurus what they did do with Abyss. They're getting a lot of mileage out of this guy without him speaking. Like one day Taurus is going to speak, and we're going to be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, he'll be like, "Wow, guys, I can't wait for this match." And we're gonna go. What?
They'll be like, "Follow, right? Follow did that to us too." What wasn't it? Oh, he was in the treehouse. That's what it was. That was fucking awesome. He smoked with the Rascals, and then he started fucking speaking. That's when Follow started talking.
His brain grew.
Yo,
Rascals.
Relevant.
Yes, absolutely. And this is because I heard somebody came back to wrestling, a good kind of wrestling.
Oh hell yeah, she should. Absolutely. We both bought from the fire sale. Ronan Blue, my brother in art, thank you very much for the super chat. Ronan says, "Jay looking like if Goldberg and Hogan had a baby."
I don't know how to take that. I'm just gonna say thanks, man.
He's saying you look as good as two multiple-time world champions.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
Wait, we can't.
Except all my bulk, instead of being here, is down here in my belly. That's where all my bulk is. It's like I don't have the 6-pack or 8-pack. I have the keg.
2 liters.
So someday I will shift the keg up here, and I'll be able to brag about it. So there we go.
There you go.
All right, but thank you. Much love, Ronan. Appreciate it. And keep up with the artwork, man. Yeah, and Mark's stuff is killer too. Love it.
Thank you.
Keep sharing it. Keep sharing it in the Discord. That's one of the great parts about it. Like I said, it's not all Impact. We can all share our own stuff and share love for what we're doing and stuff. Yeah, that's a great
absolutely.
part about it.
Hey, real quick, because we haven't done that though. You can also find us on Patreon at patreon.com/WeTalkImpact, where you can find the weekly family dinner show. You'll find multiple tiers, which I'm actually, I think, going to reorganize just due to how often we've been able to get together for these things. But we do late night shows after dark, completely uncensored. Access to the treehouse. To me, that's where all the really fun, ridiculous combo goes on. But also join us on our Discord. Discord is open to everyone. We watch all sorts of things there. Pay-per-views. We did Truck Tonight, ran this show from 6 to 9. So you could have watched this along with, several other people that were in there right before the review, and then hop on for the review of this.
Very cool.
Yeah. So find us in all those places. All right, J-Bone. Sorry. Had to get that in.
No, that's fine. I appreciate that because I'm horrible at promotion. So I appreciate it when other people do it. Thank you. Guillermo says, laughing my ass off. That was good. Terry Bolberg.
What's up, Guillermo?
That was great. Next was I love this. I've seen this pay-per-view a few times. Completely forgot that this was in here. So I really popped while watching this. We got a Piper's Pit. And I don't know, how often Piper is back at this point. Like I said, we don't know a whole lot leading up to this besides some of the filler promos leading up to title matches. But man, Piper was on fire here. He brings out Jimmy Snuka, and look, controversy aside, what these two did back in the day was gold, you know? And that's what I'm trying to, I try to my best to focus on this instead of like controversial things.
It's hard sometimes, especially with Snuka. But yeah, this is a solid segment though.
It is. And I think this is back before people were really talking about that kind of stuff. I think
so too. The reception was pretty warm. That's why I think that too, because I was wondering the same thing.
It was. So Piper brings out Jimmy Superfly Snuka, and he's basically like, look, what I did to you was wrong. And he was asking for forgiveness, and he wanted to give the opportunity for Snuka to get his own payback if he so chose to. So he gives him a coconut from out of his jacket. Piper turns his back on Snuka like, come on, let me have it. And he's just screaming. And I got goosebumps just thinking about it right now. Piper, dude, just, you know, people today compare themselves, or people compare certain wrestlers from today to wrestlers of old, like, oh, this guy kind of reminds me of Jake the Snake Roberts. Oh, this one kind of reminds me of Piper, or, you know, whatever. No one in my professional podcasting
there it is
opinion was as good as Piper when Piper was just on it, man.
Yeah, he was fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
He was so fired up, and then he's like shaking, and he slowly turns around at Snuka like, come on, I'm giving you the chance. And he turns around again, and he's just screaming into the mic. And the whole time, Snuka's like, he's giving him that crazy eye. Like,
yeah, and you don't want the crazy eye from Snuka.
This mother trucker gave me a coconut. I'm gonna give you the crazy eye.
He did give him a coconut.
Oh my god! So, and then, just as you think stuff's about to go completely batshit bonkers, Kid Cash crashes the party. Completely forgot about this. I was like, oh my god, Cash is gonna die.
Cash was really fucking good here, by the way.
He is. He's so damn good. From day one, Cash has been gold in this company. I don't know why they didn't do more with him at certain points, but for what they did with him was
back
great.
then, probably his size. Even though I know he was in a better company for that, he's still small back then, right?
Right. And
or who knows? Maybe backstage shit. Who knows?
Who knows? But nonetheless, Kid Cash came out here and basically not shoves, but, you know, shoves Piper out of the way and gets in the face of Snuka. And so then Snuka's giving Kid Cash a crazy eye. And Cash is going on and on. Like, he's going to, just mess him up. And it was just, the brawling ensues. And Kid Cash is out there. Michael Shane comes out. Kazarian comes out. So they're completely outnumbered. They kick Piper's ass. They kick Snuka's ass. And then Sonjay Dutt comes out and takes out a bunch of them. And then
on fire.
And I forget how popular Dutt was back then, but I didn't think Dutt was going to be the guy to come out, but he did.
Yeah, he did.
And
then Cash hit Dutt with the nut, and that was that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, he thank you. He kicked Sonjay Dutt with the coconut, takes off, and then the place just lit up, and even Michael Shane and Kazarian looked at Kid Cash, and they were like, dude, that's not cool. That's you went way too far with this.
Don't hit him with the nut.
And Kid Cash is like, what?
Come
on, man.
Exactly. And so that ends that. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait for more Piper. So like part of me knows is that the cutoff is coming for, certain dates on these, but part of me really wants to keep watching these because this is what I really, really love the company.
It's really, this pay-per-view, just as a standalone, me having missed a few episodes of The Asylum and not having seen the weekly TV on FSN, this is a really strong show to just come in and watch even after the fact.
It is. It kind of felt like the first pay-per-view in a way. Like it's some of it, like the good parts of it, because the first one was a little wonky too.
Yeah.
But like the good parts of this also made me remember that first show too.
Yeah.
So then Trinity, I don't know if there was something in between here.
There in between.
Period.
So you had Monty in the cell.
Going
off about he was like, there was one fucking line, dude. He was like, Raven, you're not gonna have any more something. He was like, Abyss, you're not gonna have any more constipation problems. And he was like, bounce. What the fuck? It was fucking crazy good promo.
Because
crazy.
Abyss always sounds like he's constipated, like
yeah, there's no more constipation problems. And then he was pouncing all over the place in the cell. This was a fucking killer promo from Monty. I thought it was awesome. I thought he outdid Raven, which, if you know my love of Raven, in this particular segment in a 1-to-1, I liked Monty's better. So good shit.
Monty was killer too. Rocky's snoring.
As long as you're not scratching your arm up, shit.
No, I don't know if this is gonna come over on the mic, but damn, he is snoring.
I can't hear him. Yeah, no, I can't hear him.
He is snoring loud. He's like, almost sounds like Abyss. That's what we have to rename Rocky Abyss. All right. So next we've got Trinity's Open Challenge, and I was like excited for this.
Did you catch what she's calling herself this whole time?
Oh yeah, she called herself the
the New York Knockout.
Oh yeah, the New York
saying
Knockout.
She's the knockout. She's the only knockout in TNA. I'm the New York Knockout, the original knockout. I was like, holy shit. She's birthing the knockouts right now.
Right. That's what it feels like here.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at my cat over here. It's crazy. So she's like, all right, no one's coming out here. Might as well hit my music. Time to celebrate. And so she's out there with the NYC, that's Swinger and Gilberti. Gilberti makes a really off-color joke here, which
I didn't catch that.
He's like, yeah, no one's coming out, not even out of the closet. And then Trinity grabs the mic away from him, like, all right, that's enough out of you.
Oh,
it's like, oh God, Gilbert.
Well, time and era, right? Like some of these you just gotta roll with the punches because it's like shit, it was 2004.
Right. Right. Some of that stuff was still not acceptable, but acceptable,
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden some different, I forget what kind of music Jacqueline had, but Jacqueline comes out of nowhere from the crowd and takes Trinity off of NYC's shoulders and just slams her down. Now, unfortunately, this didn't even last like two minutes.
It was like a WWE match. That's what Akeem was saying in the chat. Like, biggest complaint is that this match was a WWE women's match length, and it was. Right.
It was cool that
they put it on a pay-per-view, though. I mean, it's something, back then.
I mean, like the whole segment itself was decently long because Trinity was out there and she was talking and the pomp and circumstance and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But
I thought Trinity did a good job, by the way. She's not really the strongest talker, but I thought this was a pretty strong segment from Trinity. Maybe some of her better work overall. Like
it was when they finally started letting the women, crazy Goldie and stuff,
Yeah. And we know Trinity can work. So it's a shame that Trinity didn't have a longer, more productive career enough to get to 2007 when the knockouts become an official thing. Like, that really is a travesty for those of us that like Trinity a lot. It's just too bad.
Yeah.
But c'est la vie, right?
Yeah. And one thing I wrote notes here on, and I didn't do it earlier, but when there's another Hudson promo here, and he keeps on talking about how the pay-per-view is sponsored. One of the sponsors is Backyard Wrestling 2, which is coming out on PS2. Dude, I can't wait for this game to come out, man.
Fuck yeah, it's going to be dope. I wonder if you'll be able to go backstage.
I don't know, but wait, well, Backyard?
In the house. Yeah, it's in the house backstage.
And you mean the house next to
you fight through the house, like where the trampoline's at?
Oh.
Yeah, backstage, like the house and the garage. Should be cool. I don't know if you'll be able to, though.
My question is, like, everything nowadays is being like advertised for like Xbox and PS10 and stuff. I'm like, well, PS2, dude. I've got a couple PS2s, but
yeah, I could do that,
dude. Like, and I is there like a pre-sale code for this Backyard Wrestling thing? I'm a little rusty on my gaming shit.
I think it's a pre-order only at Babbage's and Funko Land. So if you don't have a Babbage's or Funko Land near you, you're going to probably have to order it from a catalog.
I'll have to recheck my mail. All right.
We move on.
And if anybody else has any tips on where to find this Backyard Wrestling 2 for PS2, and I wonder what the PS2s are going to look like, especially with they just like put out like PS5s. I wonder why they're going backwards here.
I don't know. If you know anything about this, though, hit the Bone Daddy up on his car phone. It's 1-900-976-4321.
Hot talk with the Bone. All right. It's the Bone Hotline. All right, so now we got Scott Hudson.
Ding.
Thank you. He's talking more stuff about the TNA DOA voting, and then we get Triple X coming out. We got Elix Skipper and Christopher Daniels talking about their match later. And I couldn't wait for this. Like, I was so excited for this. I forgot. I thought that this was going to be for the TNA tag titles. And I was like, oh, wait, that's a different match. That's it's just their feud with AMW. I forgot it was that big. But it was. This is great stuff, though.
Yeah.
Then we get the Monsters Ball match. We got Abyss versus Raven versus Monty Brown. The only thing I wrote down was, wow.
Yeah, this match was fucking awesome. Monty Brown is a machine.
This is absolutely one of the highlights for me. Like, the main event's fun, but after...
Actually, the main event was surprisingly good, but this match, go on, J-Bo.
It was. There's tables. Like, Abyss went through, I don't know how many tables. Chair
The
shot.
tack spot was a great tack spot because so many of them stuck in him for so long. Dude was just covered in tacks the whole time.
His whole back and half of his left arm was
awesome.
Full of tacks.
This was the shit.
Dude, people talk about Funk and Raven and all that stuff. I'm like, damn, you got to give some props to Abyss.
Oh, Abyss is the man.
Abyss killed himself in this brand, yo.
I thought there were a lot of points in this match I thought where you could see Raven being the veteran and directing this match, because this is like Raven's bread and butter, this type of match right here.
Right.
And there were several spots where I noticed that Monty maybe missed a cue or a spot or something, and Raven had to redirect and get it back. But overall, and I'm looking for that type of shit, right? Because that's what we're here for. But overall, this match is if you like Monsters Balls and hardcore matches, you absolutely have to watch this match. Really good shit.
And the finish was phenomenal. The sequence was great because Raven had knocked Abyss out of the ring or something through some tables, turned around and took a pounce through a table himself, which finished the match.
That was a great pounce, great spot.
Oh, just crazy.
This absolutely lived up to it. If you look at the overall show, this is easily the best storyline between the 3 promos they did in the match itself. This is the peak of the show.
Right. These guys are at the top of the card, but for a different reason. It was like more for like bragging rights and just being a badass.
Dude, there was nothing on the line in this match other than, just being top dog. So I loved it. I would definitely watch this match again.
Yeah, a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I loved all these guys back then, especially Raven. And this was a different kind of gnarly looking Raven. He was definitely changing.
Yeah.
Like
had full skirt on.
And I love that. I loved it because it is. I keep going back to this, but I used to have the SmackDown 2 or the Next Game or whenever those came out, and I would put this entire roster or try to fit, majority of this roster on there on those little cards you used to put in the PS2s.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at them right now.
I put all these guys in there. I would try to put the skirt on Raven, and I would look up. My buddy had websites that you could get formulas.
You
could
create the characters with just it tells you the hexadecimals and what goes where and all that stuff.
Yes. Yeah. So he would find. He was such a good friend. I miss Steve.
Shout out Steve.
Shout out Steve. Miss you, brother. He's actually the one that got me back into wrestling, but that's another story for another time. Because it started with my haircut. Because he was like, dude, you should shave your head. And you just look like Stone Cold or Goldberg. And just think of it this way. If you don't like it, you can grow it back. I never grew it back. I get lazy once in a while.
I saw where that was going.
Right? And that was like 2 weeks after my marriage. At my marriage to Jill. Shaved my head.
And that's never looked back.
Never looked back.
Never looked back.
So
bones forge ahead.
Yes.
To the top, Bone.
The baldness rules. Where was my point?
I would not actually know anything about that.
So Steve, you and your crazy ass hair. I love it. So Steve would copy these formulas down, and he would email them to me, and then I would print them out, and then I would sit for a whole afternoon with sheets and sheets and sheets printed out of all these formulas, and I'm making all these guys, and then my wife would yell at me and be like, Jay, we need to go do this right now. I'd go to get up, and I was sitting Indian style so long, I'd fall on my ass, my legs, my feet, all numb, and I'm just laying on the floor like a paraplegic, like it's just like, stupid games. I'm like, give me 10 minutes, I'll be out there, and
this is the hardships of the second generation of video gaming. Like,
I'm sitting there slapping my legs, trying to get the feeling back into them, and while my wife's like ready to beat me with a broomstick, and I'm just like, this stupid game.
At that time, so at 2000, when you were doing that, I was playing a Konami game called Beat Mania 2DX, which is just a DJ simulator game that I still play and have a setup for. But back then, to keep your scores online, somebody created a website, and you would go in and manually enter them. So I'd play with a notebook, stop it, write every single note down at the end, and go into the computer room in the other room and put them all in, and then come back and play some more, and then go back. I mean, shit, life was rough. Rough living back in the day, man. Tell you what.
A little different.
Mm-hmm. Hakeem says that in SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, our boy Raven is indeed wearing a skirt. He's also on the cover of WCW NWO Revenge.
Oh yeah, and that was pre buyout and all that stuff. Yeah. I had one WCW game. What did I have? Oh, Mayhem. That's the only one I had. God, I love that game. All right, where are we?
We are at franchises Outback again, still looking for Nash. I think they really don't have something for poor Shane Douglas to do this evening, really, since Scott Hudson is hogging so much camera time. So He's still out there in the back. And then And then we come back to Hudson with
what I loved here is they had footage of the press conference leading up to the pay-per-view. So it was like the beginning of the whole meet and greets, the autograph sessions, the live Q&As and stuff. And I have this. I noticed someone on, I don't know where they commented this, somewhere in the Discord or something. And I'm friends with him on, I don't know him that well, but I'm friends with him on Facebook. Mr. David Cohen was there.
Oh, yeah. I saw that on Twitter.
He was, that's where I saw it on the old Twitter box. So he's like, yeah, I'm in there. So, and I just happened to like this was a thing that I was going to ignore. And then all of a sudden I looked up and sure as shit, there's David Cohen showing off some, all right, hang on. Window, where the hell is it? There it is. There's David Cohen.
Nice.
With his autographed shirt.
From that show.
What's
From
up?
the show.
Shout out to David.
That's dope.
So, yeah. So, there you go. But, yeah, it was fun back then. It was fun now, with the whole interaction with the fans. And they've kept it up for almost 20 years now.
Yep, absolutely. Going to an Impact show. I can't speak for TNA. I never went to a TNA show, but going to an Impact show, you get far more for your money than at any other promotion. You have access to the talent like you don't at any other show. It's intimate, because it is a smaller company, but also there's just, in general, a lot more thought put into the fanfare side of the business, which, well, everybody who's watching this knows that, right? Like, that's one of the things that people who watch this show like about Impact Wrestling, at least to some degree, is that their fan outreach is pretty good. It
is, yeah, very personable.
Yeah,
because they,
their talent and all sorts of stuff.
Made some great moments for fans all over the world. Yeah. So yeah, good footage. Wrote down, showed the picture of David Cohen. Shout out. And then we're in the back again. Scott Hudson.
Ding.
I need more ding from you. Can you big?
Oh man, I wish I had a bell.
I
don't have any kind of bells around here.
Team Canada, Petey Williams and Scott D'Amore, and talking about defending his X Division championship. And this was also, this is really hard now that I'm thinking back on it. This is another absolute highlight of this pay-per-view. And these guys can have all the bragging rights they want because they killed it. You got the X Division title match, Petey Williams defending against AJ Styles. Unbelievable. These guys just kicked the snot out of each other.
Yeah, there were so many moments here from, obviously, AJ's Fosbury is always a highlight, but I like that also AJ's still using the flying forearm today. To me, that's incredible. Like, this is a move that was a signature move of his 20 years ago. And from what I understand, is still using it as a finisher. So there's a lot of nostalgia in watching every AJ Styles match at this point. Like, no matter
the springboard flying forearm or whatever the hell. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been like, we obviously, like, neither one of us, like, we don't watch the product where he works currently. So we don't get to see what he's doing now. So it's neat to, this is back like during that press junket that they showed. He said, this is my company. Like, I'm the face of this company, and it's true. He wasn't bullshitting.
And now they moved him to NXT and the other.
Oh, company. Shit.
Yeah.
What?
So I would be.
Are they still trying to pretend it's developmental or no?
I don't know. It's to help put over new talent or to bring more views, I guess.
Yeah.
But I would be a little more tempted depending on who he was facing. But now everybody's leaving, so it's like, eh.
Yeah. No interest. That's interesting to hear, though. I'm surprised by that, just because they were talking about how if you're over 30 or too old, and AJ's like 42 or some shit.
Right. They got rid of Samoa Joe, and then AJ Styles shows up, and it's like, Oh, you could have had a classic, but no, you're firing everyone. Good, way to go. Way to go.
Yeah.
Good shit. But yeah, amazing match between Petey Williams, AJ Styles. I don't know who was necessarily better in this match.
Oh man, they were both so good. All that counter wrestling around like three-quarters of the way through, like faking out the finishers, countering, that was so good. And then Petey finished with what would become Adam Cole's finisher, the Panama Sunrise, the Super Destroyer.
Yes. Yeah, that was amazing.
This was not my match of the night, but it very well could have been. Like, that's the thing, right? So I said I've been kind of out of it. I wasn't watching at the time. So I'm coming in, 90% cold to this show. Right. In this era of wrestling, you couldn't point to a show and say, oh, this is a great show to watch because the work rate is so good. You could actually do that here. I didn't need to know all the story background because there were a ton of really high quality matches on this card.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that wasn't always the case back then, though, right? A lot of times the matches were not what we would now consider to be like to have a great work rate. But that wasn't the case. I think by the time TNA is at this point now, doing big pay-per-views, all of these pay-per-view matches are like the beginning of the evolution of the style of wrestling we have now. Like, I know that it's been in the works for decades at this time, but the X division is really starting to grow into what would become modern wrestling now at this point.
Right.
Or am I being dramatic? Maybe it's not, but it seems very important at this time.
It is. And you can always look back on it and pinpoint certain things like, oh yeah, this is, they're doing this today, but it was, started back then. And it
just feels like when we're watching it, you can see the X division becoming an important division in the world of wrestling.
It totally was, because this was like the hot thing. Like it's you can compare it to like when WCW was around, everybody was talking about the Lucha Libre matches.
Yeah, the cruiserweights.
Right, yeah.
This was the evolution of the cruisers.
Like, Jericho versus Rey Mysterio versus Psychosis versus, fill in the blank, man. It just all that stuff was so good. Eddie Guerrero. And now, not quite 10 years later, but now you got, this group of kids that are just knocking it out of the park with so many new moves and exciting things.
Oh, the X division right now is so exciting if you're a wrestling fan.
It is.
So good.
I loved it. It was one of my biggest draws to this brand.
And still is, right? I mean, it's still.
Oh, sure.
Right now, the X division, like the knockouts definitely are kind of the crown jewel in Impact now, but the X division is still very widely talked about, very much respected. It's always at the top of the show. God, love the X division. Good shit.
Yeah.
So Petey retains.
Petey retains. Of course, there's some shenanigans.
Yes. Yeah.
But it just also shows the strength of Team Canada at the time.
Yeah.
So it's okay. You couldn't win them all, but Petey wins here.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the last man standing match, which I forgot. I like halfway through this match.
Really quickly before this, there was a Jeff Jarrett and a Scott Hall promo in the back, and it looks like they're filming a fucking porno. Okay. And then and then it cuts to Jeff Hardy looking like he's on You Can't Do That on television. And I was like, this is the weirdest fucking juxtaposition of back-to-back promos. Like fucking kids show, fuck film. Like right next to each other. This was just fucking weird. This whole part of the show, I was like, what is happening right here? And then the match comes up, right? And then the rules are all funky. And I'm like, wait, what? Because I guess I missed that part because I was too busy focused on the porno that Scott Hall and Jeff Jarrett were making. But there's some kind of shit where there's a 10 count at the end. It's like a last man standing, I guess, like the Texas Death Match.
It's a last man standing elimination match.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. The elimination was the weird thing. God, I'm not in YouTube. Can you nix that? But yeah, so last man standing. That's what it was. That made it weird. It threw it off to me. It actually really, and we saw this recently at Terminus on Sunday. For those of you that watched Terminus with all of us in the Discord, thank you, Truck, for streaming that on Sunday.
Yes.
There were points in the event, and also actually at Hard to Kill, which I mentioned on the review during the Sabin Gresham match, where the difficult to follow rules impacts the crowd, it hurts the show overall. That happened in this match too, which I really don't like. But
right, it took him out of it a little bit because you get excited after a pin is your normal reaction. Then you realize, oh no, now there's a 10 count after the pin.
And there were a couple times where it seems like the participants in the match forgot that too, because of course muscle memory, right? Like that's not usual for what they're doing. And then oh my god, this woman screaming in the front row during this fucking match. This woman screaming, can somebody please slap the fuck out of this woman? Travel back in time. She's in a pink shirt, opposite hardcam. Grab her by the fucking pink shirt and just slap her, because god, dude. The whole time, like my ears were bleeding watching this match.
Just word vomiting all over the place.
Dude, just screaming and screaming. It was fucking horrible.
Every once in a while, you catch a throwback episode, and the crazies come out. You can hear
where was she the rest of the show? She's here for the rest of the show till the end now, but she wasn't until this match. And then you'll see her on the far side of the ring in the front row, and she is nonstop. It's like she's screaming just to scream. Is she a plant? I don't know what the fuck she's doing there.
I don't know. I never had any house plants that did that. If I did, I'd burn them and not water them. I'm just saying.
That would be scary as fuck if your houseplants were screaming.
Yeah.
I don't even think about that.
Oh, you mean never mind. Sorry. I messed that up.
Well, come on, J-Bo. We're almost to the end. We're in the home stretch. We can do it.
It's a long day. So last man standing, Triple X versus AMW. Dude, one of the best tag team feuds for this particular decade.
Up to this point in the company, it's the best tag team.
And it's all wrestling subjective. I know there's going to be a lot of TNA Impact fans out there that are going to say that this is like the greatest tag team feud in company history or of all time. There's going to be those fans, and that's fine.
The first beginning years, it's definitely the feud.
Yeah, it is. I mean, AMW, we've watched from day one AMW come into its own and grow from something a little, carny, kooky, with the pop guns, and Chris Harris is kind of like the cool one, like, dude, what's going on, and James Storm is kind of weirdo cowboy, and then they just evolve into this badass team.
Yeah,
that just stands out over the course of 2 years, and the other tag teams that stand out and have tremendous feuds with AMW, Triple X is absolutely one of them. When we see Christopher Daniels and Elix Skipper right here, they are on point.
Yes, absolutely. And Hakeem's like reading my mind. He mentions that next month, which would be the next Sunday night pay-per-view for TNA at the time, would be Turning Point. And that's the very, very still to this day famous Elix Skipper cage walk spot.
It's not spoilers because when Dusty Rhodes later in the pay-per-view wins, he announces that match.
Yeah.
Which, we don't realize at this point how good it is, but you as a fan in this year, you're like, oh my God, 6 sides of steel. What? What is 6 sides of steel? Well, we find out, and it's crazy.
And we find it out after this match, which tore the fucking house down. So then to then get an announcement that they're going to up the ante into 6 sides of steel is just, incredible. It makes me want to go ahead and do the Turning Point show.
Right.
Another one of these, because I actually really want to see that show now.
It's just a great way to show that not everything has to revolve around the tag title. You build up a feud and do certain things, and you have this. And this in some ways is bigger than the tag team championships.
On this particular show, yeah.
Yeah.
But I would say by a large magnitude, it's bigger. Like, while the tag match was good and like Conan's getting a belt late in his career and stuff, this match feels much bigger because, like you said, AMW Triple X since almost day one has been the tag team feud to pay attention to in the company. So Now every match we've had has been bigger. This could have main evented the show.
It could have, because that's how good this was back then.
Yeah.
Because this was absolutely one. It was a golden point of the viewing whenever they had these guys on your screen.
Yeah, you know what's interesting here too. Yeah. Oh, do you want to go?
No, go ahead.
In this match, so Harris had the title shot. He got the big push, super over in the Asylum, possibly the very fan favorite in the Asylum, and then he gets put back in a tag team. But here they're still booking him as the much stronger of the two. Right? Is this? Is there another push that comes for Harris after this?
I don't think so. I know part of the match leading into this, they talked about James Storm was a little banged up from something, so his knee was wrapped. And literally the morning or sometime really close before this match, his grandma passed away, so he literally just came from the funeral. So there was a lot of emotion leading into this too. They talked about that.
I think I missed that then. I must have missed that stuff. So there was a storyline reason that Harris seemed like the stronger of the two and was the one to go all the way.
Yeah.
2-on-1.
Yeah.
Okay. I just didn't know if they were kind of gearing him up for another solo that I wasn't aware of.
I think Storm possibly was a little banged up at one point, so they had to feature him more solo. That's a guess. I don't know.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
But yeah, amazing tag match. AMW wins this one, but then there's a brawl. AMW is then handcuffed to each other, gets a little kinky. No, I'm not really. But yeah, so Triple X actually, in light of all this craziness, they actually are standing tall at the end of this. Security has to come in, and who's the big bald security dude?
Harris, Don Harris.
Yeah, heavy D or whatever. They were saying that he had a rough night or something like that.
Yeah, that guy's Don Harrison. He just kind of lingers and hangs around the company for another 15 years or something.
Yeah,
just kind of always there.
Poor guy.
Yeah, but after this match, though, we really kind of get the big news of the night, which is who our new DOA is. Right?
Yeah,
we finally find out.
Today's out there. He gets. He's got the official piece of paper. He announces that after the voting is all counted, all the dangling chads are not dangling anymore. The new director of authority for TNA is Dusty Rhodes.
Now, this is where I said the fiery promo from Dusty. This is where it is. This is a fiery fucking promo from Dusty.
It is. It's some of it gets a little.
It's a little hokey and long in the tooth.
Long, yeah, a little long.
But that's Dusty, right? Like when you give Dusty Rhodes a microphone, you don't give him a time limit because you know you're going to get what you're going to get, right?
And he might have had an earpiece saying, okay, you got to stay out here this amount of time or something.
Right. And, it was kind of neat, honestly, like him taking little digs at WWE at the time just because they had crushed all of our wrestling love, and TNA was kind of the first spark of that coming back for a lot of us. I was still watching WWF, but it was the only wrestling around. So it was nice to have this alternative. It's nice to see that.
Oh, yeah.
That spirit,
Yeah. And this
competition helps everybody.
And this is the same time that he also announces as his first, time in being the director of authority. His first thing that he announces is that at Turning Point, you're going to get the 6 sides of steel with AMW versus Triple X.
Yeah, baby.
So then he leads us into the main event. We get some promos. We get the NWA title, which is a ladder match.
Strange that Jarrett would agree to this.
Yeah, it's not. it's the ladder match part of it is not Jarrett's strong suit. It's all putting over Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy is an absolute maniac in this, and I mean that with the most love and respect.
Oh, this is fucking top notch Jeff Hardy shit. There was like at least 18 drop kicks off of ladders from different angles and heights. It's fucking amazing, Jeff Hardy.
Dude, and they even pull the whole catapult.
Yeah, the ladder one. Is that what you're talking about? The ladder hit?
Yeah, the catapult ladder,
yeah.
Bottom of it banging into Jeff Jarrett's face. And we've seen it other times in wrestling, so I think this one was a little more protected if you really look at it.
Yeah, he's got both hands up.
Right, but it still looks bad. Like, oh my God. Yeah.
This is important. Hakeem says at least Hardy was in good condition for this Victory Road main event. We don't need to rehash all the times Jeff Hardy has not been in shape. For those of us that will always be Jeff Hardy fans no matter what, this is good shit. If you like Jeff Hardy, this is a great match to watch. Right. We'll get to the finish, which I'm going to totally do a 180 on because the finish is awful. But you're dead right, Jay. It was a ladder match simply so that they could put Jeff Hardy over because he's new to the company and he's Jeff Hardy. Jeff Jarrett knows how to work a match. We've covered this, right, because he's on every show. So we've talked about post to post. The guy's a great worker. He can tell a great story. These guys got, I don't know what the match time is, I guess 25 minutes on this match. Long time. 20 minutes?
It's about 20 minutes.
20 minutes? Yeah. Okay. So 20 minutes, but it was 20 minutes with very little rest. I mean, this was go, go, go. Jeff Hardy came in and he never stopped, and Jarrett never stopped selling. I actually loved this match. It was a really, really good match.
It's one of the best ladder matches I ever seen. As far as you know, you could say, well, this wasn't as good as like tag team matches from back at like WrestleManias, but I'm talking about like 1v1. This is one of
like
the
Razor
best.
Shawn type shit.
Right. Yeah, like in those kind. Yeah, the 1v1.
This is a great match. I mean, we've seen this match, both of us, I'm sure, a billion times, bits and pieces of it on Impact's social media because they show it all the time. Like on Twitch, it was always on during the breaks, etc. But to watch it in context and just to watch the whole thing and actually sit down and watch it, this is a great match.
And I'll give props to Hall. Hall was on point here. Mm-hmm. And he took a lot of bumps in this match.
He did.
And man, it just the end of this match, I remember like all the feelings of why I hated Jarrett so much because I felt we jokingly call him like Triple J,
Yep, that's what every time I write it, Triple J.
Yeah, and that's what it felt like here. I'm like, oh my God, Triple J. It is. And I think I said the same thing back then, but that's what it felt like, like the guy the heel that would never lose. Jeff Hardy should have won. I remember being so pissed at the end of this.
Oh man, I hated this ending, the overbooking, Jarrett winning.
The thing that was like the most annoying is the entrance music for Kevin Nash when he comes out. I'm like,
worst music I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, I hated it.
That's got to be the most non-threatening, goofy. Like, what happened? Like, what? Where did they get that?
What in the Pee Wee Herman just had an affair with Punky Brewster is this shit?
Dude, we skipped this really quickly. You can totally tell that Borash did the graphics for the Monsters Ball and not the other matches because that shit was hilarious. But anyways, this music that Nash came out to, like this match, and you were right, Scott Hall was doing good work in the match up until this point.
Right? And even like the one big ladder even like lands on top of Scott Hall while he was laying down on the ramp.
Pros got to sell.
Both Jarrett and Hardy crash onto the stage, and Scott Hall's just pinned underneath the ladder. I'm like, oh my God. I like all these memories of what I felt like back then watching this pay-per-view live. I was like, oh my God, like Scott Hall's doing really good stuff here. He's actually getting killed. But then there were other times when he was laying down like, oh, that really sucked.
I mean, for as good as Hall is though, Nash's music is beyond the worst music I think I've ever heard in my life. It takes you totally out of it. And then Nash comes out. He's slow, unimpressive.
He's
Doesn't look like he's into it.
He's walking down to the ring with 2 guitars on his shoulders, and he's got this look, and he's dressed in this this brown, what are that's called, like a leisure suit. I'm like, this was like the most unimpressive, because Nash and Hall will always be some of my favorites.
They're not menacing here at all. Nash was terrible here. I'm sorry. He was awful here. Right. I like these guys too, but Nash was terrible here.
Yeah. Like he didn't have his hair dyed. He came down in a leisure suit. The music sucked. And he's just got this look on his face like,
he doesn't look mad. He doesn't look like a sense of urgency. Nothing. I mean, it's finger poke of doom type Nash shit.
It is.
It's really bad.
And
then he cuts a really shitty promo too afterwards.
Yeah. He said, if anybody's got how does he say it? If anybody in the back has a sack, points to Scott Hall. Scott Hall says, don't sing it, bring it. And that's when, so Jeff Jarrett wins. Everybody's beating the absolute bloody hell out of
Jeff.
Out of Jeff Hardy with the guitars. Takes one over the head. He's down. Jarrett gets the belt. He wins. Everyone's celebrating, and he's like, Nash is like, yep, we're back. Suck it,
Yeah, that's about when I was like,
yeah, this is horrible.
Yeah. And all those feelings from almost 20 years ago came back. Yeah, I felt the same way. Like, to the point that when the Pomp and Circumstance remix comes out, or whatever you want to call it, Savage's music. Mm-hmm. Savage comes out, so first they show the boots and the leather jacket, and like, so we're finally seeing who's coming out of said limo that we hadn't seen all night,
which was supposed to be Nash.
Was not Nash. Right. Someone's coming out of this other limo, and
we're like,
which one's Jay?
Exactly. And so then they're like, oh my God, it's Randy Savage. Oh my God. They're just, today's just,
losing his shit.
Right. Like, yeah, like he just had like 10 orgasms,
It is the Macho Man.
Yeah, and the Macho Man is great, but I was so pissed at this point. Like, Randy Savage didn't even say it. And they showed him for like 10 seconds, and it was cut. He didn't come. He didn't get in the ring. Right. Security, who had been sucking all night long.
Right. All of a sudden forms a human wall.
Right. Oh, no. Can't let Savage down. Biggest spot of the night. Don't let... So that really took... I mean, I love Randy Savage. And I know he's a part of the next pay-per-view, too, I believe. Mm-hmm. And...
yeah, that's what it said.
I don't remember exactly what it is. I know he was like in the main event and like showed up for like 2 seconds.
I think it's a 6-man or something. I read the description, but
right, it's like the Kings of Suck It versus Jeff Hardy, someone, and Randy Savage and
AJ and Macho
Styles. Okay, and Macho Man also shows up for about 2 seconds for that pay-per-view too.
Yeah, they talk about leaving you with a bad taste, though, and it's a shame because, to reiterate again, this was a really, really solid pay-per-view.
It was.
If I had shelled the $30 for this at the time, which you did, and you can speak to it, I would have been totally satisfied with this.
I don't remember what I think I paid like $20.
Totally worth $20. I would have paid $20 for this and felt fine with that.
Oh, absolutely. You know, there were a lot of big names in this. The matches were great. Yeah. The hype for the main event was there because it made the build up to this it made you feel like Scott and Nash are absolutely coming back, but you didn't know who was really siding with who. You couldn't tell because Scott Hall still got big ass pops back then. Like, you knew he was going to be siding with Jeff Jarrett, and you knew Nash was coming back, and he'll be like, Jeff, I'll be in your corner. So you're thinking he's going to be helping Hardy, and he didn't help Hardy. But, you know. So that was that, bit of mystery leading up to this pay-per-view, too. And then, with Leisure Suit, pimp on way too much crack music. You know, Pee Wee Herman just had an affair with Punky Brewster. You know, is playing. Like, what in the hell?
Yeah, they botched the end real bad. It was overbooked. It was poorly played. Nash was awful. Just real bad. The macho thing, not getting in the ring, security in the way, like all that stuff made for a very poor ending, but a very strong show overall.
Yeah.
So but it is bad to leave you with that bad taste, though. Right? Like we're watching it now and we know that this is like whatever. We'll just go open the app and watch the next thing. But back in the day, coming off an end like this, man, I might have been like, I don't know if I want to shell out $10 because they were still on weekly pay-per-views after this for $10, right? Or are they done with that by this time?
I don't.
No, they'd have been done with that because that was only a few weeks.
I'm pretty sure they were done at this point. This pay-per-view was like the big transition. Like, okay, this is it for the pay-per-views, and now we're switching to monthly big pay-per-views as opposed to the weekly. You know, and with the TV series. So yeah, there was a transition period, which is what we're in the middle of reviewing.
Right.
With the other stuff. So.
Which hopefully I will be able to. Man, I got more extracurriculars starting back up already. Like, Jesus, I'm going to try. I really want to make the rest of this show, though, because we've only got, I don't know, 10 episodes, 12 episodes left. Something like that. It's not many.
Trent's friend, who's always on the couch with him, is going to be joining us for one or two of them, too. So
is Dave going to do 100 and 111?
Something like that.
Okay. I definitely
one or two of them,
Yeah. But that was Victory Road 2004, huh?
Yeah. And I'm glad we got to do this one.
Me too.
It brought back a lot of fond memories. Some not so fond memories, like we were just talking about the main event. You know, those emotions of, oh damn it, you know, it's like
Well, this is cool though that the tables are turned because usually when we're watching the Asylum shows, most of us have seen them before, whether we remember much about them or not, and you haven't. But this time, this is a trip down memory lane for you, and I'd never seen this in its entirety before. So, something different.
This is, I love this one. You know, and we joke about the bad stuff, but overall, I got a lot of love for this pay-per-view. So
it's a really good one. And in the future, guys, I mean, most of the people, anybody who's still in this chat right now is probably in the Discord. And for those of you listening on audio or even playing back later, hit us up in the Discord. Like if you guys want us to review something, I mean, there's no guarantee if you say review this, we're going to do it. But when opportunities come up like this and we don't know what to review, I mean, you know, if we have that, like I think Ronan suggested the first episode of the Bischoff Hogan era, which I thought sounded great. It's just not available on Impact Plus. Right. So we couldn't do it. But, you know, let us know. We'll try, especially once the Asylum shows come to an end. We don't have a path forward at this point. So we're not sure what we're going to do. Maybe we spend a few weeks kicking around doing some other stuff.
And part of me wants to continue doing the FS1 shows.
But they don't have them on.
They do.
But don't they stop after like 2005? Oh, they were only at FSN for 1 year, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's the year that's.
And that was the first year that I really got to.
I would do that.
Know the brand, you know. So there's so like in ties with like this pay-per-view in particular, but they were getting white hot, you know.
Yeah, I would totally be down if we'll talk to the guys and see, because those, especially like we did, if you weren't here last week, we did the very first episode of Impact. It's a 44-minute watch. Now, our review was longer than the episode itself, but still, it makes for a nice, quick, easy, because when we do a review, it's not just the 2 hours that we're on here, but it's the 3 hours it takes to watch the pay-per-view or the show that we're doing. So with a 45-minute show, man, that sounds like a great idea.
That's a quick one. And it's also interesting how it ties with the other weekly pay-per-views at the same time, too.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Jay, we're at an hour 50, man. Wow. Well, 3 hour pay-per-view, I guess.
Yeah. So it's par for the course.
Yeah, that's about right. TNI with no game plan. It has been successful. He's not wrong. Zach says we've been successful without a game plan so far. He's not wrong. I mean, is this success? Is this success? Where's that butterfly? Look at all this splendor I live in. Look at my success.
You're just
Well, J-Bone, I'm really glad I was able to do this with you. It was fun. I really like this show. I had a good time.
I'm glad you were too, because like I said, this is still one of the highlights for loving this brand that goes back almost 20 years now.
It does go back 20 years now. We're official.
Right, we're in the 20th year.
Yeah, not to the exact day, but we're in the 20th year now.
It's hard to think like that. It's like, wow, man, this brand has gone through so much.
That's longer than WCW was around.
Yeah. I mean, if you talk about WCW and I mean, it's the brand that keeps on going. Can't kill it.
Really is. Yeah. No, I'm convinced that Impact will probably outlast most, if not all, other major wrestling brands. They just they refuse to die. Hard to kill, man.
Hard to kill is right. But yeah, let's get out of here. And I'm tired as hell, so I'm gonna do just an abbreviated version of the exit. Mark, tell them where they can find you.
You cannot find me on Twitter. I have been nuked. You can find me on the Discord. You can find the link in the description. I have also updated the Twitter with the correct link to the Discord, so please join me there. So for those of you that are on the Discord tomorrow, if I have time, NWA's new show premiered today. It's only, I think, 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to try and stream it in the Discord tomorrow, like when I'm eating lunch or when I have time, but I've got a shit ton of calls tomorrow. So I'll ping everybody, and if you want to hop in and catch up on NWA with me, I'm going to try and do that tomorrow. Oh, not during lunch. I'm sorry. TNI UK is tomorrow during lunch.
Right. TNI
I will do that on Thursday. I will try and run NWA in the Discord.
During the day? Okay.
During the daytime. I don't want to interfere with TNI UK, which I suppose leads me right into, you can catch those guys tomorrow. It's 6 BST or 12 Central, 1 Eastern United States time. They will be here to cover last week's Impact, as well as a preview of the upcoming Impact for this week. They'll go down the card. You will get all sorts of good opinions. You'll get jokes from the Voyage. You'll get good shit. If you don't watch TNI UK, it's a great midday lunch break on your Wednesday, right in the middle of the week. Definitely check those guys out. You'll probably see the Bone Daddy and myself in the chat if we're around. You can also find us on Patreon at patreon.com/WeTalkImpact, where we have bonus shows and all sorts of other shit. The Discord, the Treehouse, and J-Bone. Where can they find you?
You can find me over on that other little podcast called Smash This Podcast. I'm not begging for subs, but all I'm going to say is YouTube did one of their yearly, where they got the.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Are you under 1,000?
No, not yet.
Okay.
I lost between 10 to 20 subs. Okay. So it dropped. So they purged the subs again, getting rid of some of that. So hey, if you love TNI, go over to Smash This Podcast, give it some love. Could use some more subs in the new year. It's always appreciated. Go check out the merch link in the descriptions of the video. There's the spread shop. There's also the PWTs. Different stuff in both. PWTs is all t-shirts, and the spread shop link is mugs, caps, magnets. Magnets, how do they work? Oh, sorry.
Oh, Mayor, that was for you.
That was, I couldn't help myself because I'm old and I love teasing, the juggalos. There's the Patreon link right there, patreon.com/We Talk Impact. Speaking of We Talk Impact, if you Google We Talk Impact, all the different links for where you can find the show, the face box, the Twitter box, the Instaneck, and wherever you want to listen to one of your favorite. Here, I got the list here. Give me a second. Apple, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, Spotify, SoundCloud, Pandora. Just type in Total Nonstop Impact, and you will find us. Breathe. All right, let's get out of here, Mark. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. Thanks for the love, the bits, the super nets.
Chats and stickers and super net.
Gotcha. So
one last laugh before we go.
It was one of those days. Much love, everyone. Come back midday tomorrow or wherever your time zone is, and check out Team TNI UK, give them some love. It's lovely to see their numbers growing as well. Audio, video, wherever you catch them, go give them some love. And then we'll be back here Thursday, our crew, for the Impact live reaction and then review following right before we hit the weekend. Much love, everyone. We'll see y'all soon.